that people are in the room and they haven't, for a moment there, the Secret Service was telling guests of this dinner to get under the tables as if there was still an active threat.
See you later, D.
So as we take our breath here, again, there are now various media executives and reporters who are on their phones, but they're not cleared from the room. So that suggests to us there's an incident, but they haven't been told to leave the hotel. Now, I don't know if there's something going on outside the hotel and they don't want to put people in harm's way outside and they're trying to clear a threat there, and it's better to keep everyone in that ballroom.
Oh, he live?
But this is the largest ballroom in Washington. That's why the White House Correspondents
Thank you for
Association
being in my
has it
chat,
there
by the
every
way,
year.
buddy.
And obviously,
this is remarkable. This is
storied history, too, with Reagan also
I'm at the
being
speech,
shot.
guys.
He was shot at this hotel, not for a dinner, but he was outside.
We want to also set the scene here because there was a calmness. The program had started. We had heard.
I'm going to skip to where he starts talking.
The correspondence president had come out to say it was very meaningful that President Trump and Melania were there. This was obviously highly anticipated, his first time as president to attend the correspondence dinner. As you mentioned, many of the cabinet members are there inside the ballroom as well. And it was.
The hate.
I found it nearly.
Problem that's driving.
I'm hurrying.
People actually taking violent means.
Fast forward to the bit that started a couple minutes ago. Yeah, that's what I did.
War going on.
It's about 30 seconds off of where I put it.
It's something we've all got to pull together on.
And Chris,
we're not going to accept this.
As someone who's known the president for a long time, and we see his resilience, if you will, even on display tonight as we were looking here live. One side is the ballroom, the other side is the podium where he will emerge, and we will hear him now within just 2 hours of having shots again fired.
I am going to listen to it fully without interrupting or pausing it, chat. So please try to keep the notifications down to a minimum,
please. The person that you've known here, now the leader of the free world, who is going to come out, who is going to speak, and the message he will deliver that will be heard by our adversaries as well, and those who do want to do him harm.
The president, he knows that it was a high risk when he ran for president, that he would have threats. He was a celebrity before that. He had certain threats, but it's escalated significantly. Hear what the details that are involved before we make any judgment about
Chris,
it.
there's one new detail. The president has just put on Truth Social. Presumably he'll talk about it.
Oh, here he comes.
Is video of the shooter running past Secret Service and getting shot. So here's the president. Let's listen to it.
Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons. And he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity. I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job.
Twitch gave me an ad.
One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is.
So he shot an officer?
It's very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very
Twitch did it on
proud
purpose.
Of what he does.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Secret Service agent, and we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and. I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous
According to me,
debt
you've been
of
subbed for 3
gratitude
months.
to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time
Isn't
in the
Secret
past
Service
couple of
funded by
years that
DHS?
a
Wonder why
Republic
Dents
has been
refused to
attacked
fund them?
by a would-be assassin
Yes,
who sought to kill.
unfortunately.
In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago. You all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people. And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here,
Definitely go
likewise,
scorched earth about this. This is about to shake the earth.
beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted,
Yeah,
law
Mikey.
enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had
Trump
the same
isn't
thing.
radical enough for this
Pete
crap.
was there.
He
Pete
isn't.
didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to
Oh, that's
come
the
up, say a
dude?
few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California. And he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told
Trump isn't the hero we need. The
representatives
next
of the evening,
Trump, I
they did
hope,
such a
will go
beautiful
further.
job. It was such a beautiful evening.
MAGA strong.
And again, they're talking about free speech
I
in
actually
our
put on my
Constitution.
ball
That's
cap.
what it's all about. Not just White House correspondence. It was
Because
really
of
based
course.
on free speech
Yeah.
in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your
Let me
coverage.
guess,
I will say.
liberals
Seeing what's
defund-
been out, you've been
defend
very
that thing?
responsible.
Probably,
So
Mikey.
Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash, and then you're going to go on. We can ask. I guess we can take a couple of
So
questions.
that wasn't the shooter then?
I want to thank the first
that guy
lady
we
for-
had from Discord
that was
earlier.
a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted
Still,
to
guys,
stay
butt
tonight. I
ugly.
will tell you, I fought like hell
Hey,
to stay.
I'm not the one who has to
But
flirt with him.
it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very
Butt
much.
stinks,
And
skunky.
Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured.
You would think it is.
This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident,
really,
given the conduct. But as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else.
This guy's never going to see the light of day ever again. Are you kidding me?
The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room
Hi,
for
Cody.
the
How's
courage.
your day? I hope you're well. I'm not well anymore.
And I want to thank President Trump for his words.
Kind of pissed
and
off.
I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General.
Nice
Thank
job
you, Mr.
on your
President.
street, dude.
The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit.
Somebody tried to kill
is examining
Trump.
all the ballistics that were found on scene, to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General
he tried to
just
blitz
said
the
rings no
security
truer.
checkpoint.
You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the president, the vice president, that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information, whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there.
Yeah, he was
and
at
if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership.
Cash
Attorney
his
General,
eyes or something
Homeland
else.
Secretary
Yeah.
Mullen, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you, Ken. Okay, we'll do a couple, and then we go to the chair. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule.
There you go, buddy. I got a good pic of the guy from another Discord server.
But you have done
I
a
sent
fantastic
you a DM
job, please.
of it now. Okay, after this.
As you
Isn't the
mentioned,
Birds Creek
happen so
maneuver a
quickly.
Yahtzee German tactic? Yeah, it
I
is.
wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens.
Yeah, it's
Happened
one of
to me
those.
A little bit.
I knew
And,
the
that never
time they tried
changes.
to shoot him at a rally, got his
Fact,
ear, and
we're
now
sitting
this
right
one.
next to each other.
Wolf,
First lady
there's
on my
about
right.
4 that you missed in
And I
between
heard
that
a
one and this
noise
one.
And sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't
I was thinking you
reached
looked more
the
cross-eyed.
area at all. They really got him. But so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew.
There was two more in Mar-a-Lago and one or two others I don't remember at the moment. He got somebody tried to ambush him while he was in Pennsylvania on his way to a rally, and I can't remember the other one.
And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before
God,
we
I
were
hope he won't
out
get
the door
unalived in the future.
Gone into
So
an
Code
area.
Pink was
We
found
very
again
much, and you
to
wanted
have gotten
you
access.
very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like
It
to
was
let these sick
mid-rally?
people,
Oh, really?
these thugs, these horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end.
Oh, he does have the
they
eye
didn't want to take a
misalignment
chance,
thing.
and I
Never
understand
mind
it was
then. Oh, what the fuck? Bro, don't tell me, Fox, your fucking live stream crashed.
You look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names here, the big names.
Mimi,
And,
isn't this
I
the
hate to
fourth
say
one
I'm
this
honored
year?
by
There was
that,
a golf course.
I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We have.
What is the Secret Service
we've taken
doing?
this
It's got to
country
be
and
beyond
we were a laughing
incompetence at this
stock
point.
for years, and now we're the hottest
I
country
will
anywhere in the
answer
world.
all of
We've
your
changed
guys'
this country.
questions after I get done with the speech.
And there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor
Well,
events?
but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room
You're
was
good,
very,
Mimi.
very secure. He charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally
Yep,
by
he
the time
just
he was there.
bum
They were
rushed the
shooting.
checkpoint.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know.
So basically, the agitators
I'm
are a
not gonna be-
distraction. Pretty much,
I would
Dover.
not
That's
stand
my
for that.
analysis.
No, I thought they were very impressive.
President Trump, thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on
Thank
the
you.
suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table. Who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, we've had no. There was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Do you know
Kevin.
any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know.
suspect?
Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful,
Police
they
chat
go
is
after
going
you. When
nuts
you're not
with
impactful, they
leftists
leave you
somehow.
alone. Okay, a couple of more.
Well, I know who I'm rating
Go ahead,
now.
please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so.
Battle Bears,
You
stay
never
in
know.
chat.
We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You know, you had the First Lady with you today. And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening?
Well, I can't.
Thank you for shouting out Mimi, by the way.
Get great people. They
Thank
did the
you,
job.
mods.
In my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about.
I just
Somebody
woke
should have been
up
there, but even Butler.
Welcome to the world, Mikey.
We had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds.
You're welcome, Mimi.
From a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it now, you know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people
I'll
killed.
get to that in a minute,
One
Slider.
great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so. In a sense, you know, it was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know.
So
they should have
anxious
had
and afraid for
that
our
covered.
country's future.
Tonight
The
they had
night
everything
Charlie
covered
died, I
very
cried
quickly,
myself to sleep.
and he was fast. He was running.
I stared at my
full blast, and they
ceiling
got
for
him,
about 4 hours.
before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he was.
Jesus Christ.
He hadn't
fucking
anywhere
blitzed
close to
that
breach
shit
the doors
hard.
of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight. But I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor? And has the suspect made any statements to police while
I think it's just look, it's not my profession.
Yep.
We have great professionals.
Welcome
up
to
here
the
and
party,
outside that
pal.
have been working with us. My impression is
I was
he
talking to
was
Slider.
a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with
There's a
somebody
reason
else.
why I believe in
Sick people.
2A, and I believe that
We have a lot
everybody
of
should
sick people.
believe in 2A.
But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know.
If you can get yourself a concealed carry license, I would do it
You're
at
gonna
this
know a lot
point.
about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story. Race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same, 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. As part of the job, it is a dangerous. I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't support the
there's any
left anymore.
profession
Charlie
that's more
Kirk's death,
dangerous.
Duber.
But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of, members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics?
Yeah. Well,
what does that say about
yep.
us?
We're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries.
That's why my
I was
content shifted
talking to
from
somebody
gaming
from
over to
another
just
country
yapping most of the time.
today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures, all over the world. You look at South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune.
Thank you, Mega.
No country. Good question.
Possible to turn that temperature down at this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran.
They celebrated
we
the
can't let them get a
submarine
nuclear
implosion.
weapon.
The call for
everything
Trump's
will
death,
be
it's
peanuts
horrible.
compared to that if they
So
ever
absolutely
were
horrible
given a
how
nuclear
people
weapon.
think
And
this
they'd
is
use it
okay.
too. Marco and I were talking about it.
It's
today.
why
They would
people
use
like
it
Leaf and
without even
Celeste exist,
hesitation.
man.
We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I say to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year. And I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, Mimi.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your
I
leadership?
like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases.
I will in a minute,
to be
Kettle.
honest with you. I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight. We heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
About how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
Huh?
One in the back, sir.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? They can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts. So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him, because a lot of people would be looking and saying, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They look like Matt Dillon. They look like somebody that knew what they were doing. And we really do. But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So the president, the vice president, the acting attorney general, half the cabinet was there. He made a reference
FBI
to
Director
Pete.
Cash.
Okay, so quick synopsis for you guys just joining, waking up around the world right now. A assailant tried to bum rush a dinner. That's him right there on the left. There was pictures being thrown around earlier, which now is believed to be a distraction for this guy to just blitz a security checkpoint on the side entrance of the building to the correspondence dinner. He's apparently from California. He brought a firearm with him, and by what I saw on the tape, it doesn't look like he was carrying anything bigger than probably a handgun. He tried to bum rush the checkpoint, and he got dealt with swiftly by the Secret Service there. Now, what does this mean? Okay, this is the now 6th attempt that somebody's tried to take out Trump. And if he's coming from California, most likely he's a liberal. Let's just face that fact right here, right now, chat. The more that they do this, the more normal Americans will hate them. And it's, since you're trying to use violence to get a point across, people will hate you more and find you untrustworthy. Now, earlier, what was brought up was a transgender dude that was holding an AK-47 in one of his profile pictures online that was sent to me in Discord. It is believed that that guy is the distraction for him making a blitz at the checkpoint. That's what the internet's saying. Do I believe it to be true? Maybe. But to all the lefts out there that will probably watch this video of recording of mine on YouTube and probably give me a whole slew of comments in my comments feed saying that I'm crazy for being a Trump supporter. But all you do is you're building more people to his cause. You're making yourselves more hated. You're doing evil acts to try and accomplish a goal. And then you're running around calling everybody that's normal Nazis and every other type of evil thing that can come out of your face holes. That's not what you do. Now, my chat has brought up Charlie Kirk a lot while watching this speech. You guys lost people feeling sorry for you the moment that that kid was shot. You can't take that back. And that's your problem. You're doing things with the objective of death, and death can't be rewound. It can't be undone. Once it happens, it happens. Everybody loved Charlie Kirk because he may have had other fundamental beliefs and he may have been clipped out of context, but his message on one thing always stayed the same. Once you stop debating, you lose your humanity of understanding. Which is why I encourage my chat, if they do meet any of these evil people online, debate them. Don't insult them. The moment that you go to insults, it means that you already lost. Because you have nothing intellectually to counter them with. There's another question that was in my chat. Does DHS fund the Secret Service? Yes. And guess who's tried to cripple that a couple of times in the last year? The left. Think about what would have happened if those bills didn't pass tonight. We would be a nation right now with probably another mass casualty event. And a lot of people hurt. Possibly a presidential assassination, which would stir something that you don't want. Let's think through the future of this. Let's think through this problem, chat. You assassinate Donald Trump, what happens? After the left has tried to do it now 5 times, think what would happen if they actually did it tonight. This country would have instantly imploded in violence from both sides. That would have been, yeah, exactly what Quantum just said. You would have, if you would have taken him out tonight to all of those people on the left that are sitting there lurking, wanting to find some clip to bash me with, if you would have assassinated him tonight, every single person on the left would be in danger by the extreme right. Those guys would come out in force. And you have no way to counter that. You don't. You don't have enough lefts with enough firepower to keep up with those guys that lock themselves in their house, have a bunker underneath their house. Those are the right-wing nut jobs that you guys underestimate. It's not guys like me. It's not girls like Celeste and Leaf and Juju that you need to be mad at. You're getting mad at the wrong people calling the normal everyday person Nazi for no reason. There's no reason to use that rhetoric other than hatred. Y'all need to start debating and stop yelling at each other. Because this is what the yelling does. This is what rhetoric like Destiny, Hassan, all those people on the extreme left that are on the internet, that's what their rhetoric creates. This guy with his face in the carpet in a Hilton hotel in Washington. I've been saying this for 2 years. I bet you if the Pentagon released their whole entire internet record, I'm willing to bet that Hassan is sitting on this guy's web history. Now, am I blaming Hassan for that? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is that his rhetoric is toxic, and it leads to this, and he needs to start taking responsibility for that. Like, I don't know, not going up to the New York Times and saying that it's good to steal. See, that kind of rhetoric leads to this. It leads to more Quangos, not less. Worst part is most people do not know what a Nazi actually is. That's actually a very valid point. which is why people should stop throwing those words around like they think they know the meaning when they don't. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Alphabet Mafia. You do it more than everybody else other than Antifa and BLM. You want to know why the normal person wants to deem you guys that? A terrorist organization? Because a terrorist, literal definition is you're using politics as a way to enforce fear. Literally verbatim what a definition of a terrorist is. This is terrorism. I know for a fact that looking at this guy, he had a political motive to go in there and try and shoot Trump. I don't even need any evidence of that. I already know it. Because look at how defeated he is that the Secret Service caught him. He can't even look at a camera. Frick Show, thank you for the kick follow, man. This is what happens when you let toxic personalities spout their horse shit and do not enforce your TOS to the letter, Twitch. You're creating little shitbags like him that want to go around and harm people for no fucking reason. Before Nazi was coined to disparage people, Bonapurus was used significantly someone as a warmonger. Oh yeah, this loser who tried to hurt Trump looks so defeated. He does. He looks defeated. Look at how he's staring at the floor. Even more disgusting that he did that. That he did this at such an event too. So many people could have gotten hurt if he fired blankly into a crowded room. That's exactly what I'm saying. The average correspondence dinner has between 150 and 200 people. And that's in between where exactly he was going and Trump and his wife sitting at that table up on the stage. That's literally how many people were between him, if he would have never gotten stopped, and Donald Trump. It's exactly like the Pennsylvania thing. He stood up and put his fist in the air while a father of two and widowing a wife who was a career firefighter got insulted on the internet. Charlie Kirk gets shot in the neck and there's almost 3 hours worth of TikTok footage on the internet. Dude, because the label's to stick. You are not a Nazi in my book. That's true. I'm glad Trump is safe. So am I. But it's not just about Trump. They keep on picking these events where there's actual innocent people. Think about it. If he would have busted those doors and just started firing off rounds, he's got a 5 in 200 chance of hitting somebody. My synopsis is that if we find out who he is and what groups that he's a part of, those groups need to be labeled as terrorist organizations at this point. Was there too, that poor woman has been traumatized? Yeah, and she also gets made fun of on the internet too, just as much as her husband does for getting shot in the throat. What's up, World Forge? It's a sad world that we live in, guys. 2 suggestions I have for you. Get acquainted with your state's 2A laws. And if your state does not allow you to defend yourself, I suggest you move. Secondly, after doing that, get a concealed carry license. Because you don't know where these quangos are, and if they just decide to pop off one day, you'll at least be able to defend yourself and have your life in your hands. It's sad where we are. Rev and Straub were absolutely right with their tweets earlier. It's absolutely disgusting behavior. Not one time did anybody attempt to assassinate Biden. Not one time. And there were plenty of people that hated him. This man went up for his second term and he's had 6 attempts already. If you lefts want your message heard and you want it heard and calm, I highly suggest that you start calling out these very, very extreme leftists like this guy digging into the carpet right here. Because you're only hurting your cause. You're not helping it. Every time that you do a violent riot, every time that you're standing outside of an ice warehouse, it makes normal people hate you more and more and more and more. And then on top of that, when they do dislike what you're doing, you call them Nazi, which makes them hate you more on top of that. Get better, man. I don't care if you get God. I don't care what you do. Start reading up on having a conscience. More on parodies of right and wrong. Because this shit is wrong. And you're doing nothing but amplifying it. No one knows what fascism is and where the word comes from. Or the fact that other countries actually created their own version. They have no idea what National Socialist Party, its writings or the 25 demands. No, nobody knows that stuff, DJ. Because they don't read. Saw how dog water the laws are for self-defense there. Couldn't even have pepper spray. Yep, and that's why Chicago is a failed city. And you know who it's been run by? It's been ran into the dirt by the very same people that have the mindset of this guy sitting on the carpet right in front of you. Get away from these cities, guys. Learn to defend yourselves. Learn your 2A laws. Get yourself a concealed carry license and operate your 2A within the confines of the law. Defend yourself when your life is in danger. Because it is your life. You have every right to defend yourself. And that right should never be in question anywhere. Plan on moving his gun shop to Tennessee. He's done with the blue state. I would be done with it too, Knox. Now, I'm going to raid into Leaflet. And I hope you all have a good night.